Hello subscribers, good day to you. Today we are going to meet a very special person and the face of the industry, if I can say. He is none other than Mr. Navneet Munot, MD and CEO of HDFC Mutual Fund. If I have to say, in the regular form, HDFC Asset Management Company, HDFC AMC. Just a little bit intro about him. He joined the firm in February 2021. Today, HDFC Mutual Fund manages more than 8 lakh crores of assets of both in equity and debt put together for over 100 lakh investors, which is more than 1 crore investors across the country. Navneet is also the chairman of the Association of Mutual Funds in India, AMFI, which is the instrumental body for mutual funds. Navneet has 3 decades of rich experience in the industry. Prior to joining HDFC AMC, he was the Executive Director and Chief Investment Officer of SBI Funds Management Private Limited, which is part of the State Bank of India, and was responsible for overseeing assets under management of $150 billion across mutual funds and segregated accounts. Navneet was also the Director on the Board of SBI Pension Funds. Navneet has a master's degree in accountancy and business statistics and a qualified chartered accountant. He has also done financial risk management, which is FRM. He is also a charter holder of the CFA Institute and CAIA Institute. Welcome, Munot.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure interacting with you, and also a pleasure to be in Chennai. I mean, it's such a vibrant and dynamic economy.
I'm sure that your insights will help our subscribers and as well as investors all over India, because today you are the face of the industry. You are not only the MD and CEO of HDFC Asset Management Company, you are also the chairman of AMFI, the Association of Mutual Funds, which oversees, which drives all these things in the investment community. So you are doing a fantastic job. Today I have a set of questions for you. It's less about HDFC and more about the industry, because you are the industry today.
Thank
You are the face of the industry today. Anyway, so let me start with the current topic. Today it's the whole world is talking about Trump's tariffs since he came, since January. It is almost 8 months over. He is not yet done with it. So, but India is also not left behind. 25% plus 25%. That's what India on 27th he decided. We will put tariffs on Indian goods. Today we are having this discussion, fortunately in Chennai, and you are available in Chennai. If I take Tamil Nadu's economy, particularly textile goods from Tirupur, because even last night, there was a recording from Hello FM, which I have done about this exact question. I have answered, but I would like to hear from you. So the Tamil Nadu's economy, textile goods from Tirupur and surrounding area is a major export item to US, and thousands of families are living out of it. There are thousands of medium and small enterprises. So far these goods were charged an average duty of about 3.5% approx, and from 27th onwards it will be charged 60% or more. So it's really a killer for Tamil Nadu economy. How can Tamil Nadu in particular and India in general, because I am not worried about Tamil Nadu alone, it is all about India, just I gave the example, overcome this situation? What are your thoughts?
You rightly mentioned about the uncertainty that has been unleashed by the Trump administration in last couple of months. It is not only about the tariffs, but I think the overall communication on many issues have kind of like changed the world in a manner that nobody would have anticipated till few months back. I say this that anybody who asks me about the world we are in, I say that the only thing I can say with certainty is continuity of uncertainty. So much of uncertainty has been infused by the current administration, and I think the way the world has been since the end of World War II, the multilateralism, I think the kind of more predictable environment in the global politics, in the global economy, in the global geopolitical sphere, I think suddenly is changing at a very rapid pace. Coming to the India, of course, the 25% plus 25% tariff announcement has come as a big surprise. I would rather say as a big shock. I think India has been a very very strong democracy. India has been a proponent of, looking at the larger good of the world, larger good of human society.
Correct.
When we led the G20 2 years back, the logo was Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. The whole planet is my family. The whole world is my family. This is what India's message to the world was when we chaired G20.
True.
And it's very unfortunate that the way I think the communication has come from the United States. I remain quite hopeful that through the diplomatic channels, and of course government won't leave any lever possible to ensure that India's sovereignty, I think India's interest, I think India's long-term objectives are taken care of. And at the same time, I'm sure US would realize sooner than later that India is a key partner for anybody in the world. We are not only the nation with the largest number of population, largest number of people in the world. We are 18% of humanity. We are also the largest democracy in the world. We are also will be the largest consumer and the largest labor force supplier to the world in next 30, 40, 50 years. We are the fourth largest economy in the world, such a large market for everybody in the world. And I'm sure wherever businesses are, particularly in the United States, they would also communicate that to their government, that how critical India is for almost every business in the world. Having said that, coming to the textile industry, which is directly impacted by these tariffs, and I'm sure I've heard on media and otherwise from the government, the various steps that government has been talking about. Both the central government and state governments need to work together, and I'm sure I will give it to Indian entrepreneurs. They have withstood many challenges in past, and this time again they will rise to the occasion and won't leave any lever I think untouched to escape through this. The government has announced that they will come with, I think, some bit of solution. They will come with a supporting environment for them to handle the immediate challenge that has come. At the same time, over a period of time, I think all of us believe that the domestic market will also increase substantially with the cut in GST that has been announced, and some of the more measures which are likely to come. I'm sure between the central government and state government and the entire ecosystem will rise to the occasion to ensure that we don't get disrupted. But actually we see this as an opportunity to shine through. India needs to focus a lot more on branding, a lot more on design, a lot more on productivity improvement over a period of time. While maybe we are all hopeful that some FTA will happen between India and US, but some of the other FTAs have happened with UK. And some of the other parts of the world, and we can expect more with some of the other geographies. I'm sure everybody will have to look at diversifying their export base a little more than what they have. At the same time, US remains a very large market, and you cannot ignore it, and you cannot shut that piece that don't look at US. I'm sure we have to look at US, but we have to find
amicable solution,
ways
probably.
an amicable solution. Yeah.
Okay. Recently, I think the government has announced that the cotton prices, import duty for cotton, they are extending till December. And some of those items, the other thing that I was thinking, say like in developed markets, whenever a person's job goes off, they give up to 6 months salary. Government gives indirectly, they fund it. But that kind of social security is also not available right now in India. Probably it is yet to develop, and hopefully it can develop.
But I mean, if you see a recent experience, pandemic was far worse than what we are seeing in terms of tariffs, right? I think just 5 years back.
Exactly.
And look at the way our society handled it. I think between the government and the entrepreneurs and the civil society, all of us worked together and ensured that we came out, I think, extremely well from that situation. And even in terms of vaccination, I think we clearly showed to the world what's possible when you kind of leverage the human ingenuity with a larger sense of purpose. Also, I think I always say this, that our society has deep resilience inbuilt. I mean, I remember the Chennai floods and how people kind of like got together and then handled that crisis. And there are many crises like that which we have handled. And another interesting concept, like we use this word resilience, that the changes which are coming in the world, every 1 or 2 years you see
Something
such
is
a
happening.
large shock coming from somewhere. Look at last 5-7 years. I mean, right from the pandemic to 2022, we had the Russia-Ukraine war. After that, inflation went up, interest rates went up globally, and many challenges. Year after year, you see something or the other. Now with the US tariffs, there's a concept called anti-fragile, that businesses, everybody in the society, businesses, organizations, society, needs to become anti-fragile. There's a difference between being resilient. Resilient is that you can withstand a shock. You can withstand a crisis. But anti-fragile is that every time there is a crisis, you come out stronger. Which means that every crisis is an opportunity to do better. And you take the case of our industry. Pandemic happened, and imagine, I mean, Chokalingam, you have been there in the industry for so long. You are a veteran. You are so respected. Now imagine that all our offices were closed. You could not meet any client, you could not come to our office. But our transactions actually went up multifold. How we could do this? Because we adopted digital technology so well. And today, from let's say pre-COVID, half the transactions used to get done digitally. Today, more than 90% of industry's transactions are getting done digitally, right? Online. This changed the life of distributors, investors, everyone. So that's like taking advantage of the crisis to create that or convert that into an opportunity. And I think for every business that has got impacted, and I'm sure for thousands of years, we have seen the worst possible, I would say, tyrants from different parts of the world coming to our land, but still India has
come across,
remained resilient and have faced it.
So the thing is, you already mentioned it. The thing is, will this be a big blow to our economy, the tariffs? And are this, as you rightly said, we have to turn this into an opportunity or is this a great opportunity for our 140 crore people to be much stronger? And, our central and state governments, even Prime Minister mentioned the other day in his, speech a few days before, during the opening of Maruti factory, that we are looking for money, black or white, from anywhere in the world. Our people's sweat will go into it. So that is the spirit we have. And
absolutely.
And the GST, post GST relaxation, probably, have you heard of any other steps being taken by government to overcome?
No, there are many, and Prime Minister at a couple of occasions has talked about it, and so are some of the other, the people in the government, that they are very open to new ideas. They are very open to bold reforms. We have seen many reforms in last decade or so, right? From GST to IBC to RERA to the whole financial inclusion to the whole digital revolution that we have brought into Monetary Policy Committee framework, many things.
UPI.
But now UPI, of course, has brought in 1 billion people into the mainstream financial system of India. But I think now we are setting ourselves on the path of another set of newer reforms. And I've always seen that every time India has been hit with any external shock, that has made us stronger. And this time won't be any different.
Very good.
I always mention that dark clouds are always followed by a shining sun. Dark clouds are always followed by a shining sun. This time won't be any different.
I forgot that you are a good poet as well.
No, not really.
Urdu couplets.
No, the couplets I like is a Thiruvalluvar. He is the best. He's such an inspirational. In 2 lines, the amount of wisdom you can put in is just unbelievable.
Yes, true. You touched upon this, but I want to ask you more specific. The underlying theme of the recent world even seems to be uncertainty.
Absolutely.
You touched upon that.
The continuity of uncertainty is only certainty.
Now, how do you as an individual tackle uncertainty both in your personal and professional life? Also, you can tell us some examples, in your own life. This will help investors to be better equipped to deal with current state of affairs. You gave a very good example about COVID and a lot of flash floods happening. We have overcome that. But still, there are a lot of lakhs of people are coming into the system, in mutual fund system, every day. We are enrolling a lot of people all over the country, and so all the new old investors are okay. Now they are matured enough. Okay, they agree.
Yeah.
Okay, market will be volatile. Finally, it will give
Yeah,
me good
yeah.
returns, etc. But for the new investors, if you can quote some examples, because I also know that two people in the industry I know, you and Nilesh, are great orators and storytellers.
Okay.
I mean, you put the things in a very, very good manner. That's why I'm asking.
No, I think Indians are blessed with this whole concept of equanimity. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord uses the word sthit pragya as like Gyan Vigyan Triptatma Kutasto Vijitendriya Yukta Ichute Yogi Samlostashma Kanchana. Gyan Vigyan Triptatma, like endowed with knowledge and Vigyan, special knowledge, who has controlled his senses. And I think if you see from a market's perspective, so the two big emotions, one is the greed and one is the fear, that when markets are going up, you get too exuberant. Should not get exuberant. When markets are not doing well, or you have a news flow like this, you don't get too pessimistic. You don't get too stressful, and think of like the four best words ever written and by a sage is like, this too shall pass. Every time, this too shall pass. So both extremes, if you keep thinking like that and remain equanimous, and then I mean you can think of markets very differently. And market is a great teacher. We are closer to the Teacher's Day, and yesterday I was telling someone that Mr. Market has been an amazing teacher. I think we revere many teachers in our life, but think of Mr. Market also a great teacher. Market teaches us resilience. Market teaches us humility. Anytime you think I know it all, and then you get punched from somewhere. There's a very famous quote of Mike Tyson that everybody has a plan till they get punched in the face. So think about it like this tariff came out of like nowhere in April, or in last 5 years. We talked about like many things that has happened in last 5 years came out of nowhere. So but remaining equanimous, and from an investing perspective as an individual investor, I think we take a longer term view that in last 30 years, and we have track record of many funds in India including ours, in last 30 years we have seen many global crises. We have seen lots of ups and downs in the economy. We have seen lots of cycles in politics, in geopolitics, in economy, in business cycle, profit cycle, so much. But if you draw a long-term graph, it looks pretty good. In between, you will have like day-to-day volatility. If you see month on month, if you see quarter on quarter, you will see a lot of volatility. But you take a longer-term view, then things kind of like subside. Yeah.
Correct. Okay. And also I would like to touch upon your personal life because the reason being is a lot of people are interested to know about the CEOs, MDs, or the leaders, how they came up, what they did earlier, all those things. Like I always say, like the cinema industry does this very, very well. Like no other industry does this, because we have to bring up people, show them, and at least a lot of people want to follow this, because the probability of success rate in cinema industry is very, very low. But whereas as a fund management, as a fund manager, or as a CEO, the success probability of getting there, or the success rate is higher comparatively, through experience and knowledge, of course. So tell us a bit about yourself. Where did you do your schooling? Where did you graduate? What motivated to join this industry, fund management?
I think a stroke of luck. Many things just kind of happened because of luck. So I was born and brought up in a very small town in Rajasthan.
Okay.
It's a place called Byawar. It used to be an Ajmer district. Now it's a district. And I did my schooling there. I did my graduation from there, post-graduation from there. I did a CA, Chartered Accountancy, because I had to be in that place. I couldn't travel outside for a variety of reasons. So the only thing possible was doing the Chartered Accountancy. You can do articleship there. And luck had it that I got a rank.
Okay.
And because of that, I got interview offers, and then I ended up joining financial services in early 90s. And I always say that people who came in early 90s, we got very lucky because India was opening up, financial services were opening up. So private sector mutual funds, insurance, private sector banks, all of that kind of opened up, and India did very well over these years. And I think we were very, very lucky. If you had two things, overall, I think if you had a deep sense of curiosity, you are a good learner, constantly learning, and applied that with a lot of hard work. And the third, last but not the least, more important, is the integrity. If you had a deep sense of purpose, working with integrity and utmost honesty, you were working very hard and you kept learning. I think the tailwind was so much for all of us to do well. So we have been very, very lucky
True,
in
true.
last
No.
3 decades in India. We've
Glad-
just been riding India's growth and India's opportunity. But let me say this, that after 30 years of all that we have seen, and our fund sizes were in tens of crores, not even hundreds of crores. Hundreds and thousands were like a big number. And today we are talking about like lakhs of crores. You don't know, we will be talking about hundreds of lakhs of crores in few years' time. That's the India opportunity. So the best is ahead of us.
Huge opportunity. I would say
Absolutely.
whenever I see news items that US is going to tighten visa rules, US is going to tighten green card, more inquiries, more social, or I tell, thank God they are doing it so that we will have more people here and they can enjoy the fruits of this country.
Absolutely. There's so much of Indian talent everywhere in the world. Silicon Valley, of course, is very famous, but you look at US universities, you look at like colleges, who are the professors there, you look at the scientists, you look at like every field, there's Indian talent there, yeah.
That's so many CEOs. And so you came from
In fact, one of the thing on this crisis, I keep thinking, one of the thing that government must do is to, how can we have a red carpet for the people who have migrated out of India? How can we get them back? Can there be like a PLI for them? So because talent is as valuable as,
True.
creating a manufacturing plant. Do people create things?
The plans
and how do we become a more attractive destination? So can we have an incredible India for people also?
Yeah, those who are
Don't come as a tourist, come as a permanent
settle
job
down.
creator, permanent wealth creator, permanent country builder.
True. So you came from all the way north to west, and now you are Mumbai
We travel across the country.
True. As a head of a fund house, tell us a little bit how your daily life is, and especially what goes in your mind, as you take key decisions. Because a lot of decisions, people look for decisions. You have a great team. There is no doubt about it. In Amphi, in association, you have a CEO, you have a great team there. You are the chairman there. Here in HDFC AMC, you have dozens of people. I would say hundreds of people all over the country. They are all well qualified. They take decisions, but still for key decisions, they will come to you. Some of the things people will be rushing with you, sir. You have to do this today. The time is closing or whatever. Of course, you have a board, everything. Board of directors, AMC board, trustees. Lot of things are there. Support systems are there, but you are the man. Not the woman, whomever, in this case, the man. So you are the man to take the key decisions. What do you apply? Because I have seen people, who apply Gita, at times, if they are Hindus, or some people maybe Quran or some other Bible, whatever may be, or they, they take some inputs from their parents, or from where they have grown up to make important key decisions. How does it happen with you?
So, one that I've been very fortunate and lucky to serve as DFC AMC. Our groups, I would say, as an institution that has got built over last close to 5 decades now. Mr. S.T. Parekh, Mr. Deepak Parekh, and many outstanding leaders. The institution they have built is such an, I would say, a machine that works so well. I'm just one small cog in the wheel. Also, I've been blessed with outstanding people around me who have been serving the organization for very long. So it's not that everybody rushes to me for a decision. I think that people are quite empowered. People are entrepreneurs in our organization. And so is the case with MFI and some of the other institutions I have an opportunity or an honor to work with. I think we are surrounded by outstanding talent in the industry and in MFI office. I think when people are driven with a deep sense of purpose and they have a passion to create something, then things relatively becomes easier. You talked about the influence of, let's say, scriptures. I always say this, the amount of wisdom which is there in our scriptures is underestimated. I think for every possible question or every possible thing, you can always go back to them, what has been said thousands of years back. There's a quote by Nassim Taleb that the books that have been around for hundreds of years, they'll be around after hundreds of years. The bestseller of last year may or may not be read by people few years down the line. So that's like one deep source of, I would say, an inspiration. And of course there are many things, but always, in short, if I can say that when you are driven by a deep sense of purpose, then things become relatively easier. There would always be some or the other challenges. I mean, we get impacted by markets, right? So and markets by nature inherently are volatile. Then you get these kind of news flow that we discussed at the beginning. There will always be changes in technology. There will be regulatory changes. There will be changes in the market environment. We have to navigate all of that. But you have the right team. You have the right, the deep sense of purpose. You work with keeping all the interest of all stakeholders. So for us, it's our investors. Everything that you do, at the heart of it is our investors, our partners, our shareholders, our vendors, and the ecosystem players, our regulator, and then the larger society, which gives us license to do business. Correct. Honestly, one is a regulatory license that you have, but for business to flourish, for business to become large, you need a societal license that you are adding value to the society. You are adding more value than what you are extracting from the society. If you have that in mind, then things become relatively easier. The day-to-day job is very different. I'm in Chennai doing this. I'll be in some other place tomorrow doing something else. There are, of course, the usual stuff, and then there are newer things keep coming in.
When I said my son that I'm going to meet Navneet for an interview today, then he asked me this question. So I will put you that question. He is more interested in doing business or whatever. So he says, let us say I am a 17-year-old who wants to pursue fund management as a career option.
Yeah.
So what your advice be on what I should do in college or how I should shape my career? Could you list out 3 skills that you would look out for in potential fund managers to join the industry? Of course, there are a lot of other jobs with you in the AMC, but this fund manager thing is, youngsters, they are very aspiring to be managing the funds. So that's what they are.
So first and foremost, I think you need the analytical background, right? So whether you do a chartered accountancy, whether you do, any
MBA
or whatever, building the knowledge of finance, understanding accounting, understanding finance, understanding businesses, that is very important. Otherwise, how do you manage money? So you need to have that analytical orientation. You need to have ability to go through the details. That's like very, very important. And not only about the educational qualification, but it's about a deep sense of curiosity and ability to work hard. The second is a temperament, which is as important as intelligence, right? You can have intelligence, you can have the insights, but in investing in the long run, temperament is a lot more important. We discussed about you will be driven by a lot of cognitive biases, emotional biases. So understanding of psychology, and it is not only the understanding, but also applying that in real life, that you don't get swayed by the volatility. You don't get influenced by, let's say, lots of these, the external noise that will come. So like Charles Ellis says that peer pressure, media noise, and cognitive biases, these are the 3 things that you have to be aware and you have to kind of like overcome. And the third thing, which is as important, if not more, is the integrity. You need to have deep sense of integrity. If you are like managing somebody else's money, it's a very, very noble profession, and you need to have that deep sense of trusteeship in you, that it's a noble profession, and I'm just a trustee. I think if you combine these three things, I think an intelligence, insight, deep sense of curiosity. The second I said is the temperament, and third is like integrity and honesty that you do. And I'm sure if he has
Great. You know,
passion, he will do well.
The macro look, rather than getting into the skill sets or whatever, the macro thing that you know, whatever you have listed out, three, they are great. So, you know, on the topic of career options, because a lot of people I am seeing nowadays, as you said, now I can do in that Ajmer town, I can do only CA, so I did. Today I am seeing lot of youngsters, kids, even they are not going to college. You know, you went to MCOM and all those things, after that you did CA. Today after +2 people are getting into CA. So, because they are passionate about it, they like numbers.
Of course, yeah. And post AI and all, I don't know in what form the formal education we have gone through, it may look very different in next 5 or 10 years. We really don't know. Yeah.
True. I mean, it is noteworthy to mention here that you are also part of the CFA Institute. Yes, and you are a charter holder there.
Yeah, I'm charter holder. So I did post my CA after a couple of years. While I was working, I completed my CFA. I did CAIA, which is Chartered Alternative Investment Analyst, and FRM, which is Financial Risk Manager. Yeah. I had this like interest in passing exams.
You're passionate about it. That's what I can say.
It is also about like, keep testing yourself and get exposed to like you know, the newer curriculum, but also being part of those societies. So let's say the CFA Society, it's an outstanding global network of tens of thousands of CFA charter holders who are working in buy side and sell side in different kinds of firms. So you benefit from interacting with all of them, being part of, you know, the society events. In Chennai, when I was chairman of the society, we started a new series of program on the like annual fixed income summit, and now that's become a little different. But in like all different parts of the country, and India has been one of the, I would say, large center for CFA Institute globally in terms of the newer candidates and the newer charter holders.
True. In this southern portion, a lot of people know about, I mean, parents, I would say, maybe kids know, a lot of parents know about CA, but they are not as aware about CFA, or they know CA or CS, company secretary or chartered accountant. So, could you throw some light on this CFA?
The CFA, I mean, chartered accountant, because in this part of the country, people are very meticulous in terms of numbers, and some of the most outstanding CA firms are here in Chennai. What CFA does is, so I mean, in CA you get knowledge of accounting, of let's say creating the financial statements. We understand all of those, costing, etc. I think what CFA provides is an orientation towards portfolio management. You understand, the whole capital structure better. You understand. So it starts with an assumption that you understand financial statements. But it starts from analyzing those financial statements, how to interpret them. Then it look at, like, let's say, right from macroeconomics to the corporate finance, to equities, fixed income, derivatives, portfolio management, so on and so forth. Okay. So it's an orientation more towards financial markets, investing, all of that,
and all those things. And from a career perspective, it has good, options.
Of course,
definitely. Similar to
and not only about the career, but I would suggest that if you are in, let's say, in wealth management, investment management, even if you are going to manage your own money, I think the body of knowledge, the curriculum, and post doing your CFA, passing the exam, you become the charter holder, you remain connected with the network, and you get so much of more resources for continuous learning. That continuous learning is as important as going through the exam and passing the exam.
True, I do. So, like, now I am coming to the AMFI portion. Association of Mutual Funds plays a major role, has played already a major role in popularizing the product, all those things. I have lastly, since you are the chairman, I have one more question on that. But what are the steps that AMFI is taking to increase the investor base right now? All over India. Earlier they did mutual fund Sai Hai campaign, and a lot of people believed, and they started investing, and they are all with good profits. Whenever it was started, whoever invested on seeing that advertisement, they are all with good profits. They are all happy investors now. So on this,
I mean, AMFI got created 30 years back. Just few days back, we celebrated 30th Foundation Day of AMFI.
Oh,
and
okay.
We are all standing on the shoulder of giants who have built this industry over the last several decades. And I've been like very, very lucky to be part of this over the last couple of decades. The industry's objective is to work with the regulator, with investors, with the entire ecosystem. For the last several years, we've been working very hard to be kind of, let's say, an extended arm of the SEBI. So SEBI's objectives are investor protection, market development, and market regulation. And this is what we also kind of like look at. We work shoulder to shoulder with SEBI in creating best practices, in co-creating regulation that SEBI comes out with, and then we create the best practices, and then we also have a role to play in terms of the market. So that's very important, because if you have transparency, if you have world-class disclosures, if you have the investors, the building trust, then only market can grow, right? And then you work on the other things like what we have done in last couple of years, particularly on the investor education front. That's something very, very interesting as an example for many other industry associations or many other businesses, that how an industry which competes hard against each other collaborates so well on creating the best practices and on creating more awareness about the product. So on the investor education front, it is about empowering investors, educating investors, enlightening investors. And it is not only about the awareness of the product, the mutual fund as a product, but it also, if you look at some of our other campaigns, the KYC Aasan Hai, it's about telling them about the possibilities of digital frauds and how do you save yourself from that. I mean, many things that we do under that umbrella has been very interesting, I would say, step by any industry.
Yeah, majorly education has helped to increase the investor base. That I do agree.
Technology has also played a lot of role, and over the years we have worked, I would say, with all the other stakeholders to ensure that we leverage on the digital public infrastructure that India has built. That's why I said that in the last couple of years we could double the investor base, simply because one, that awareness got created through this campaign, and the other thing is that whether it was onboarding of an investor, doing the KYC, the portfolio construction, all the disclosures, all of that has become relatively easier by leveraging the power of technology.
True. And just a small suggestion from my side, even I think HDFC AMC website is multilingual now. Yeah. So AMFI, you may also think of doing it.
No, of course, we have been doing, and we need to step up our efforts. In fact, we announced a series of new initiatives just few days back.
Okay.
SEBI chairman himself was there, and I'm very thankful to him to grace the occasion, spend good time with us, and we announced a series of new measures to reach out to more and more people, speak in their language, and then do the handholding of investors to get more investors into our fold. And at the same time, the investors have already come to ensure that they navigate the path very well.
Yeah. One thing, just came to my mind. One investor from Madurai came, to me and asked, "Sir, I am buying gold. Market gold price goes up, my value goes up. Gold price comes down, my price comes down. I am buying real estate. The same thing happens. But why do you say mutual funds are subject to market risk in such a bold manner that makes me to go away from the investment as if something there is new, or it is not, it is untouchable, or whatever, I would say." So, I mean, from AMFI's standpoint, yes, we have to make awareness, AMFI or SEBI, whatever. Do you think still we have to continue that kind of cautionary messages so boldly, so strongly everywhere?
I think that's where we have also built the trust of everyone. Historically, in a lot of traditional investments, the way Indians have been investing, they had a lot of not so good experiences and lots of bad experiences also, the way people have invested and have got shortchanged. I think our industry's fundamental premise is to build trust based on transparency, based on the best disclosures, based on, I think, the investor first approach. And that's why we always highlight the risk attached with the instrument, which you rightly said. Is it not the case with gold? Is it not the case with real estate? In fact, our products are also a lot more liquid and a lot more transparent. I mean, you get the daily NAV, you get a monthly portfolio, you get so much of disclosure on our website, which you don't get for most of the other products where you invest. But still, we believe that we keep highlighting that to build a longer term trust.
Probably a day will come. So, like one more thing, and SEBI is working on this. Of course, the traders, trading community. I saw a report that all the investors, individual investors, put together their last 39,000 crores in a given year, and corporate traders, they made 40,000 crore, 41,000 crore. So India is, I think, by far one of the largest traders, day traders in the world. So has the industry thought about introducing products to attract these investors? Is it possible? Is there any precedence for this? How to overcome this? Because still that people are in the hunting mindset.
No, one way is to I think what we need to do a lot more, apart from the messaging from the mutual fund industry about mutual fund sahi and all. I think the fund houses that have got a long-term track record, I think there is an opportunity for us, and there is a responsibility on us to go and showcase the history of those products and how there have been different market cycles, what happened during that time, and still how people created wealth over a period of time. For example, our flexi cap fund and some of the funds who've been in existence for 30 years, they've gone through many market ups and downs, but still what kind of wealth that has got created, how the power of compounding helped, how the simplicity of just investing a small sum, but with the patience and discipline of doing it over a long period, has really created wealth. And in this entire period, if people tried many things at different points in time, in fact, I've been telling our research team that look at, let's say, if you were a smart investor and you did like the 4 best IPOs of the year, all these 30 years, what your experience would have been. Experience in the fund would have been better than that. You picked up the 5 largest companies every year, whether you would have beaten us? No, not really. If you just picked up the best sector in that year, would you have done better? Not necessarily. And I mean, how can you be like so lucky every single day that you can trade and still make more money? It's humanly impossible. And so the best way is like remaining disciplined. I always say this, the best way to create wealth is STP, sound investment plus time plus patience. If you don't have all three, you won't make money. You can do gaming, you can do F&O, you can do crypto, you can do all kinds of things, but that's not the way to create, a great wealth for your retirement.
Yeah, I think no one has made wealth by trading. There is no other example.
I'm yet to meet someone.
yeah, exactly.
I know legendary investors in Chennai, the way they have created wealth, and then a lot of people know them. They are public figures, some of them, and very humble and very, I would say, down to earth and very low profile. I think they've created wealth by just being patient over a long period of time.
True. On the topic of expanding investor base, this is a suggestion that some people we have discussed. Can you think of introducing, there are a lot of SEBI issues and I do understand, that's why I'm talking to you. Can you think of introducing an optional lock-in facility? I think you have for your children's scheme. Not only you, other fund houses also have. Up to 17, 18 years, you cannot take out optional lock-in. Can you do that for other funds, any normal flexi cap fund or multi-cap fund, so that, say like if when the person comes, he comes with a horizon of 10 year, 15 year, okay? Then we discuss, we debate everything, we tell the risk, everything, he agrees for an SIP and all those things. A guy who started 12 months ago, now he is coming back, no, my thing has gone down, let me stop the SIP. The incidence has been lowering nowadays, but the thing is, if you know other industry, let me take insurance industry for example. Once there are advantages to it, disadvantages. That's why I'm asking optional lock-in. If you introduce optional lock-in, at least it gives them a good experience over a period of time. Earlier retirement funds were until 58 lock-in. Now it is only 5-year lock-in. Now all said and done, is there a possibility to introduce an optional lock-in at the willingness of the customer? It will not be missold or anything. The thing is, that is a suggestion, or probably if you have some comments.
No, sure. So, I mean, that's why we always say that solution-oriented funds, one
exactly.
for children and the other for retirement, they have a lock-in, and they serve a good purpose, that investors look for a long-term solution rather than just playing the market through the other funds, and that's why it really helps. And I know a lot of distributors, I know a lot of investors who prefer solution-oriented fund rather than any other fund. We need to promote that a little more. And of course, there is a new SEBI consultation paper on the entire review of the SEBI classification of schemes. I mean, that SEBI has categorized different schemes, so that categorization is under review, and I'm sure we'll look at all possible.
If possible, there is an optional lock-in till the age of 40, till the age of 50, whatever.
I think in the core categories like flexi cap and all, it will be tough, but for retirement, etc., can there be something
for the solution oriented portion?
Can be created. I'm sure there can be.
Good. And the right now, I think there are 47 fund houses in India, and HDFC is in the top 3 flag bearers, and I am very happy. Congratulations,
Thank you.
Crossing 8 lakh crore of assets under management. It's a great achievement. As you said, once we were thinking of tens of crores, then hundreds of crores, thousands of crores, now lakhs of crores. It's very heartwarming to hear that, and very hearty congratulations to you. So out of these 47 fund houses, one has not started operation, Capital Mind, something like that. I saw in the Amphi website.
I think now there are 50.
50?
Yeah, there are 50.
Oh, okay.
So on the foundation day, Amphi Foundation Day, I mentioned that now we have 50 fund houses.
Oh, okay.
For a long time, there have been around 45. That number was 45, just 1 or 2 addition, 1 or 2
deletion,
getting merged, deletion or merger. Yeah, so that number was quite flat for a very long time. Now we have seen like it going to 50, but this also shows that industry has huge growth prospect, and the market is deeply underpenetrated, and there are more players who are looking at entering the industry, so which is very heartening. India has a market has a lot of promise. And a lot of players will try different things.
And how many more fund houses the Indian economy can accommodate? Just this curiosity, because I was going through ChatGPT and seeing how many fund houses. I think the classification is little different in USA. So there are about 400 bigger names in the US industry. It seems that's what multiple times I went through ChatGPT. That's what it's giving me. 400 kind of like the ones like Fidelity or Templeton, Franklin Templeton, Vanguard, similar to that. There are about 400. I mean, not all of the same size. I mean, in that same structure. So similarly in India, how many can come up? Because in the recent past, I start seeing. The other day we were at a function hosted by Bajaj Mutual Fund, and they told we got the license long before then, but we saw it coming. Now the industry is exploding, kind of going to explode. So we entered the market 2 years before, or whatever Sanjeev was saying the other day. So similarly, how many? Maybe it can go to 100, or I don't know. Being
no, but at the same time, there will be like the private sector mutual fund were allowed. I think it's been a little over 30 years now.
Yes.
And you have seen like many players entering, you have seen many players exiting. There are many players from industrial houses, from global institutions, securities firms, professionals, all kinds of players have entered. Several of them have exited. That's why I said for a long time that number was same, because somebody was coming in, somebody was moving out. But at our end, I mean, while as an industry body, we all collaborate together. We have great collaboration, and we want industry to grow more the merrier. I always say this because there is so much of under penetration. At the same time, at our end, I mean, if I talk about HDFC AMC, for us it's all about serving as many investors as possible.
I think you
so
crossed 1
on
crore
one
investor.
side, yeah, so we would have around 1.4 crore investors
Wow.
or something. So for us, the joy is serving 1.3, 1.4 crore investors. It's much more, I mean, we talk about the lakhs of crores of AUM, but the sheer joy of creating wealth for more than a crore investors is very different. Yeah.
Correct.
And for us is like, how do we do the best for the investors who are there with us, and how do we get more investors into our fold whom we have an opportunity to serve for long? How do we create the right solution for them?
Because it's a commendable job. If I look, there is no other industry which will offer 100 rupees investment.
So all our equity funds, couple of years back, we decided that our minimum amount is 100. Of course, it's a very costly affair for the AMC, but it's just that at least you have an opportunity to kind of come and taste the product, and then as you build your understanding, just buy a few simple products as you build your understanding, and gradually kind of increase that.
One of the CEOs was saying me, mutual fund CEOs, this morning I met him. So he was saying me, say like one of the private banks increased from 10,000 to 50,000, the minimum savings bank account balance, whereas mutual funds are coming down from 1,000 rupees and 5,000 rupees to 100 rupees. So who is gaining the market share? Who is gaining the market share?
That's an interesting way of putting it.
Yeah, the banks are taking away the customers. I mean, they're throwing out the customers, whereas mutual funds are pulling in the customers with 100 rupees.
And you look at, interestingly, if you look at the price at which an investor get the advantage of a professional fund management, the convenience, the liquidity, the service and all of that, India is very economical, very economical. At that size of investing few hundred rupees per month, what you get in return, and for that what you pay to the asset management company and including the distributor, it's very economical. I mean, if we compare ourselves with the rest of the world also, I think India has done a very, very good job of that. Yeah. The kind of alpha we have generated over a 30-year period. You look at last 3 year, 5 year, 10 year, 20 year, 30 year, and in entire career I've been hearing that it will be very difficult. And every time we surprise positively to our investors. And I've always used this word that India has been and will remain a stock picker's paradise. There are so many businesses to choose from. There are outstanding entrepreneurs, and there is focus on capital efficiency. If you identify the right management, right business, and don't overpay, if you remain focused on margin of safety also, then I mean there's like a lot of opportunities of alpha creation in India.
Very true, very true. One more thing, nowadays, say like all the youngsters, now India, it is good that entrepreneur mindset has come, in India, across the board, whomever go, yes, some people prefer jobs, many people prefer jobs, but some people want to test. And also it is good to hear that if you have gone to a business and failed, people are also taking back you in the job market. They are thinking it is a good experience. These are all some positive developments. So now how much you need to start an AMC? I mean, minimum requirement, is it 100 crores?
50 crores.
Oh, 50, not 100.
No, as far as I know, it's 50.
Okay, 50 crores. So
our balance sheet would have like 7,000-8,000 crores.
Okay, yeah. So if you are to start an AMC today, if someone wants to start an AMC, how he or she can differentiate from rest of the field? Because you guys are all supermarket, you have everything and anything and everything under the fund management, whatever people ask you have. So no newer entrants cannot afford to do it, So the one good thing I want to congratulate Indian fund houses is lot of large multinational fund houses, they went away from India. They sold their business.
No, I told you, I mean, I've been fortunate to watch the industry over more than 3 decades from the time it opened up to the private sector. There's like no large industrial house who didn't set up. There is no large securities firm who's not set up. There is no large global institution who's not set up from different parts of the world, US AMCs,
Yes.
UK AMCs, European AMCs, Japanese AMCs. Now you don't see several of those names. And there have been many professionals who have set up over the years. I think I said earlier that investor first and creating value for all stakeholders, I think is a key thing. Everything that you do, investor first must be there in your DNA. You keep thinking about the investor, automatically you will take care of all the others as well, whether your partner, which includes distributors and the RIAs, whether your shareholders, all the ecosystem partners who are your vendors, the support system, the regulator, the larger society. I think having that is very, very critical. As I said earlier, this is the most noble profession in the world. Managing somebody else's money is a responsibility.
True.
You are a trustee.
Custodian.
And having that attitude of being a custodian, being a trustee of somebody else's money is very important. You don't come here to make profits, to build AUM. You come here to build trust. And that gives you a license to make money. And it's not the other way around.
It's a
you
byproduct.
Come here to build AUM so that you can build a lot of profits. No, you come here to serve someone, and if you are serving well, they give you a license to make money for yourself. Yeah.
Very well said. Very well said. I do agree. I am with you. I mean, it's a byproduct. Making money is a byproduct.
It is a byproduct, and you make very good money because it's a byproduct. At the same time, being so economical, as I said, that if you compare our products with anywhere else in the world for a retail investor, what you get for the service, that the overall package that we have in terms of, right from the onboarding to the portfolio, which generates the alpha over a long period of time. You look at the service by the distributor and everything that you combine, and you compare that with US is like 100-year-old industry. 1924 was the first mutual fund got set up. Last year they had 100th year. After 100 years at that size, which is multiples of India's mutual fund industry, retail funds are still costlier than India. And there are a lot of hidden costs. The kind of transparency we have built into the industry is
amazing.
Something that we take deep pride in.
I lived 6-7 years in USA. Still, I think approximately 50% active, 50% passive funds in USA. So still there is entry load is there. Some exotic funds as high as 6%, 7%. And generally the advisor fee goes as 1%. I mean, there are a lot of costs built into it, and you must go through the financial advisor. In India, you need not have a financial advisor. You can yourself become a financial advisor through direct plans. And I mean, also I think
a lot of reforms have been brought.
The only country where the fund management expenses are controlled. I mean, it's regulated.
It is the only country it's regulated. As the fund becomes larger and larger, you pay less and less. It's so interesting. And let's say you invested, and 10 years later that fund has become large. You're paying less. You thought that, whatever was we call it TER, total expense ratio, as the fund grows, it does well, we'll be charging less to you. It's something so interesting.
That's good.
So credit to our regulators, credit to our industry.
More, as you said, more transparency, openness, and and all the things.
And we constantly work. Regularly in our MFI board meetings, in our board meetings and trustee meetings, we always think, how can we make it more transparent? What more we can disclose to investors?
The investors. True. And now I'm coming to HDFC Mutual Fund. I will take a few more minutes, then I think probably in HDFC Mutual Fund, you are managing a massive amount, as I earlier said, more than 8 lakh crores, if I'm right, 8,30,000 crores plus, something like that. So you are in the top 3, in terms of assets under management, and you are also a publicly listed company. You are the first publicly listed company, if I'm right, from the AMC side. So where do you see HDFC Mutual Fund in the next 5 years? From you might be giving out some projections for shareholders or regulator or to the industry body, whatever. How do you measure your company's success?
So we've come a long way in our journey from let's say when we started to over 8 lakh crore AUM, from where we started to now 1.3 crore plus investors. We have 280 offices. In last 2 years, we have opened more than 50 offices across the country.
Wow.
There's a lot that we are doing to penetrate deeper into what we call in our industry B30, beyond top 30 towns. And of course, there is a lot of opportunity in the top 30 towns also. There's so much of under penetration in Chennai also. Forget about the interiors, but still we are investing in the future. I talked about reducing the minimum amount. We are constantly investing in our digital technology to make the journey more seamless and create a better experience for our investors. In terms of products, we have products which have a track record of 30 years. 5 years later, we'll have track record of 35 years. 10 years later, we'll have track record of 40 years to talk about. And that is building the trust. At the core of our business, what do? We do investment management, risk management, and product management. Our investment capability and the risk management capability, which is like deeply ingrained into the investment management, to create risk-adjusted returns for all kinds of investors, whether they are looking at parking short-term cash, or they are looking at creating an income stream, or creating a long-term wealth. We have all the products, and how do we ensure that for all kinds of investors we have a right solution? Our mission is to be the wealth creator for every Indian, to be the wealth creator for every Indian. It sounds very ambitious, but this is what our I would say sense of purpose is. But our vision is even more audacious, which is to be the most respected asset manager in the world.
Wow.
To be the most respected asset manager in the world, and we are driven by that purpose and that passion. So next 5 year, 10 year, 50 year, this is what we have been doing for decades. This is what we will be doing.
Great.
So that note of commitment. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was very interesting and insightful, and the thoughts are really so you put the bigger picture first and then work towards it. That is a great thing learning for today's youngsters, because all they see is like money or everything, but here comes a different perspective which says that put investor first, or put the customer first, put people first, then things will follow. It is a byproduct. And very glad. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. And I must, because I talked about the revered sage Thiruvalluvar, I must end on that quote. So he said, there is no bigger wealth than virtue, and there is no bigger loss than losing that.
Great.
Virtue is the biggest wealth, and I think we should all aspire for that.
Thank you, Navneet.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure meeting you.